Hello, fifth grade. Fifth and sixth grade. This is your science video for Wednesday, February 3rd. And so we have 3 pages to do. So look at your worksheets, 132 to 134. 132 is the back of the one that you did for yesterday. And let me see if I can find it here. Okay, so you had the looking ahead, and then you've got on the back side, basically what you're looking at is you're using pages 194, 195 to determine the differences between regions with 4 seasons and those with 2, and it said to complete the chart there. So on this, the number of seasons is going to depend upon where it is. Now, if you look up here, it says on page 194, 195, and it gives you where seasons occur most of the time. And so usually there are 4 seasons, it says, and it's giving you, and I'm looking for the place where it has 4 seasons. Okay, so if you're going to places like, if you look on the map here, and you notice that, for instance, I'll give you one of them here. The second one here, I'll give you the first one too. The first one is Bedford, Massachusetts. Now, Bedford, Massachusetts is in the United States. In the United States is one of the normal areas where it has 4 seasons, and so you put 4 seasons for that area. The Chittagong, Bangladesh, that area. Now, Bangladesh is down here, and so you see that. That is, if you look on page 195, you can see the monsoons, and it talks about the monsoons and the changes in the winds, which causes change in the precipitation. There's a dry season and a wet season, so basically there are 2 seasons in those type of areas. So on Chittagong, what you're going to see for Chittagong is that it's going to be 2 seasons for that one. So the rest of them you should be able to figure out. Some of it you can look at by temperature. Some of it you can figure out just by where they are. The ones that are in the monsoon areas, okay, those are the ones that are going to have 2 seasons. The one that are in another area, they're going to have 4. And then at the bottom it says, what generalization can you make about location of the cities and number of seasons that they have? And if you look at, you'll notice a pattern, okay, and this pattern sort of gives you an idea, and it has to do, and I'll tell you, it has to do with the red line that is on the map on page 132. And then 133 and 134 are study guides, and one of the study guides is the same thing that's on the picture on pages 196 and 197. It has to do with the the carbon cycle, and the carbon cycle is a part of what you're going to be doing. You will need to know this. This will be on the test, possibly on a quiz, so you want to make sure that you know that well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our reading. Talk about cycles of change, starting in on page 194. Change is always happening in our world. Some changes occur quickly, like the train wreck at the Sacramento River. Like the train wreck in Sacramento River. In just a few short hours, chemicals killed wildlife for miles downstream. Fires can quickly destroy whole forests. Other changes, such as the growth of a plant, take place slowly. Sometimes changes happen so slowly they're not even noticed for a long while. The weathering of rock is an example of this. However, changes do not happen by chance. Each change, big or small, is planned and controlled by God. Some changes are part of a cycle or regular pattern of change. God uses these cycles to maintain his earth. He promises that they will continue. In Genesis 8:22, God says, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Seasonal changes. One of the earth's cycles is the seasons, or the regular divisions of the year. Many parts of the earth change temperature as the seasons change. These areas usually have 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The season of spring is a time of new growth for living things. Fresh grass and new flowers appear. Trees put out new leaves. Migrating animals return in search of food. Other animals come out of hibernation. Many animals give birth to their young in the spring. During the summer, the baby animals grow and learn. Plants grow and produce food both for themselves and for animals. Some animals begin to gather food and store it for the coming winter. In autumn, the temperatures get cooler. The leaves on many trees change color. Animals continue preparing for the winter. Some animals migrate to warmer places. Other animals grow thick coats of fur. Winter has the coldest temperatures of the year. Many tree branches are bare of leaves. Some animals stay in their holes or burrows and are inactive. Others hibernate in dens until the warm spring comes again. In some areas of the earth, however, the temperature does not change very much, but the amount of precipitation changes a lot. The seasons in these areas are based mostly on rainfall. They usually have two seasons, the wet season and the dry season. During the wet season, most of the rain for the entire year falls. In the dry season, very little rain falls. Monsoons are winds that change direction with the seasons. These winds control the wet and dry seasons in some areas. For example, the winds blow across the Indian Ocean for several months and bring heavy rains to India and Southeast Asia. Then the winds reverse their direction and blow across the land for the rest of the year. Your secret word is autumn. And then the winter, and so India and Southeast Asia have a very dry climate for the remaining months, for these remaining months of the year. Now, look at the next pages where it's going to have the carbon cycle there, but carbon cycle. Another cycle is the carbon cycle. Every living thing needs carbon. Carbon combines with other elements to form the compounds that make up living things. When carbon combines with oxygen, it forms a gas called carbon dioxide. Plants take in and use this gas. During the process of photosynthesis, plants use water, carbon dioxide from the air, and energy from the sun to form sugar molecules and oxygen. The sugar molecules contain carbon. The plants use some of the sugar molecules to provide for their own needs. The rest of the sugar molecules are stored in the plant. The stored sugar will provide food for other organisms. The oxygen that was formed during photosynthesis is released into the air. Animals and humans breathe in this oxygen. Oxygen is needed for the process of respiration. Respiration is the process which organisms use sugar molecules and oxygen to produce energy. This process also produces carbon dioxide and water. Respiration takes place in almost all living things. In plants, respiration is the opposite of photosynthesis. When living things die, carbon remains stored in their bodies for a while. Gradually, decomposition takes place as bacteria, fungi, and other decomposers break down the bodies of dead things. The carbon is then released into the air as carbon dioxide. Now, if you look at the chart that you have there, starts off with the sun. It says the sunlight provides energy for plants to make food. And then it says photosynthesis. Plants take in the carbon dioxide and then they release oxygen. And so some of that goes into the air and some of it goes into the ground. And so from the ground, the animals get, or for the plants, what it does for the plants themselves, the animals get carbon from the plants that they eat. They also get energy from the sun, and they get warmth, and they get, so they are able to breathe the air in as well that is provided, the oxygen that's provided by the plants. And then you have animal respiration. They take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide. We do the same thing. When we exhale, we release carbon dioxide, which is good for the plants. The plants need that. It's a very symbiotic relationship that we have. Animals release waste products into the soil. If you don't know what waste products are, it's when they go to the bathroom, basically. And decomposition. So another thing that happens is those things that the waste, and also when something dies, decomposes. Decomposers such as bacteria and fungi break down waste in the bodies of dead things, and carbon dioxide again returns to the environment. So that cycle is what keeps things that are here on the earth alive. And so that is it. It is that is your assignment for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.